Hey creative friends, it's Gwen with you back with another scrapbooking process video, and today's share is for Cocoa Vanilla Studio and I'm using their Daydream collection. And the idea for the page actually began with these fussy cut flowers, which I have cut from the Garden Variety pattern paper, so that one there. Yeah, I just sat in front of the telly and cut out a bunch of those. And I am making, I want to say, page number 3 with the collection. So I'm getting familiar with what's in there and really enjoying using it. I also wanted to show you really quickly how I keep track of which titles I've used. So the packaging there lists out all the titles that you get and I just cross them off as I go. So yeah, lots of pretty goodies. I've got, the die cuts, the accessory stickers, and all of the pretty pattern papers. Now this is the photo that I'll be using today. It's of Caitlin and it was taken earlier this year. And I'm also going to be using this cut file. It's called Rainbow Love and it's from my cut file shop, Cut to You. And I have gone ahead off camera and backed it. Now I've used the Sweet Serenity pattern paper for that. It has this lovely black and white spot on the B side and then the mixed media style pattern on the A side, and it's my favorite paper of the whole collection because I'm not a mixed media gal, but it's a way that I can get pretty watercolors and that mixed media feel on my page. So I really love those. I have also stitched around the arcs of the rainbow there in quite a dark pink thread, and I've added foam tape behind it. So all of that did take a little while. I've also backed my photo and I am pulling out a bunch of elements that are going to be from that fussy cut pattern paper. Now I've popped it all onto that background pattern paper, which is actually called Sun Shower, and it is the sweetest little raindrops ever. And yes, I am still on my pattern paper background kick. I think the Cocoa Vanilla collections are actually a really lovely mix of patterns that are a little bit more busy or bolder, and then a mix of patterns that are not that busy so that you can use them for your backgrounds. You don't have to put them on white all the time or like a plain cardstock. Yeah, so I'm really loving that. So yeah, I mentioned before the photo was taken earlier this year. It's of Caitlin on a balcony in a high-rise in Surfers Paradise, and she's actually looking out over the ocean. So on my pages, when I have photos like this, I like the subject matter to be looking in towards the center of the page. So for me, that meant that the photo had to go somewhere there on the left, which actually helped because that's one less decision that I have to make, and yeah, that's one more step towards the design of my layout. It's not wrong to have it on the right and to have her looking off the page, and I've seen beautiful pages like that. It's really just a personal choice thing, and it's the way that I like to have them positioned. And you can see that that's sort of the pretty much the design of the layout. So we've got the layout bones in place. I know where I'm going. I have a plan, and that's always a really good thing. So I am going to start the bases of my clusters with those fussy cut florals, and they're not stuck down, so I am kind of cheating here and just adding a little bit of tape there to lock that floral on the left into position. So I have only unstuck, that's not a word, I have only removed the tape on the back of the photo for that left hand edge so far, and because I want to just be sure about the position of the florals there at the bottom, so I do fuss with that just a little. Once I'm happy, I just add a spot of glue just to hold it into position. And I had this grand plan of just being able to whip the tape off the back of the photo and press it all down. But for the life of me, I could not get the backing off of that tape. So I had to pull everything off the page that wasn't stuck down, flip it over and really wrangle it. I don't know what was happening. I was just having a moment, but yeah, so I thought you'd enjoy that. I left that in. So now it's time for me to try and figure out where everything was before and yeah, get it back into the position where I was liking it. So no, I do manage to do that. There was only, I was lucky actually, there was only maybe 5 or 6 elements, so I could cope with that. So yeah, now this collection does not have a lot of chipboard. Actually, it has no chipboard in it. So I am going to be making my own chipboard-esque elements. And I'm going to do that by using 3D foam. So this is my giant roll of foam tape, which I get from Bunnings. So Bunnings, for non-Aussies, is just a big chain store that's a hardware store, yeah. And they have that tape there, which I use, which is in fact actually not acid free. Is that right? Not acid free. And it's a slightly cheaper. It's not a big problem for me because I will always have paper layers between my photo and the tape. But if that's a problem for you, there is an acid free, so a photo safe version of the tape, which is a little bit dearer, but Bunnings have that as well. So yeah, and that's actually my second roll of that tape. So it's super economical, especially, and it's a great idea, especially if you're the kind of scrapbooker that uses a lot of dimension on your pages. So yeah, I would very much recommend that. We had a lovely big chat about that really recently, actually, in the Cut to You HQ Facebook group. So that's my Facebook group that's loosely linked to the cut file shop, and a lot of the ladies there who use the files on their layouts will share them there. But we also talk a lot about general scrapbooking. So yeah, if you're not part of the group, feel free to join us. I'll leave a little link for that below. The page is coming together now, and I am really liking where it's going, and things are starting to get locked into place. I'm finding that like I really love those florals. Hey, they have just been so nice to work with. I would highly recommend grabbing a couple of sheets of that pattern paper. What's it called? Where is it here? Garden Variety. And yeah, just sitting in front of the telly and fussy cutting out all the florals. Have them there ready for when you're making. I don't think I would have stopped the layout to then go away and spend 20 minutes fussy cutting. I think it's far better to just like bulk cut out the whole sheet, have them sitting in a pretty bowl or in a little baggie, and then when you go to make, you can use them like embellishments, just like like any other die cut that you would, normally use. So, and speaking of fussy cutting, I have also fussy cut out a couple of those pretty little moths from the pattern paper for that one. Oh, I've got that here. What's that called? All a Flutter. So they were really quick to cut out. You probably don't need to do those ones in advance, but I would definitely recommend doing the florals in advance because they did take a little while. Now, I will mention here while I have a moment that once I had finished the video and I'd given you my little close-up of the layout, I did actually go away and come back the next morning, and I have added 3 stickers from the accessory sticker sheet. So my style is quite embellishment heavy, and I am very aware that I can overdo things. So I'm very conscious of just making sure that I have that balance of all the pretty things and the elements, and yeah, not like just enough and not too much. So yeah, I'm sorry you didn't get to see those little bits, but you do see them in the close-up still images. You can see here now that I am locking everything into place, and that's how I prefer to do all of my gluing. So I don't reposition things, I get them exactly where I want, and then I lift up just the top little corner or the bottom edge and pop just the tiniest little bit of glue underneath, and yeah, lock them into position so that, yeah, I find that if I didn't do it that way, I'd lift them off and then go to put them back on, and they would not be where I want them to be. I'd never get them back the way that I wanted or the way that they were before. So yeah, that's how I really like to do that. Thanks for joining me today, creative friends. If you have any questions at all about the collection or my page or yeah, anything scrapbook related, feel free to ask them in the comments below. And if my page inspired you in any way, please feel free to subscribe. Yeah, I'll leave you with some close-up images as always, and I will lift this up in a moment so you can see all the pretty details. Thanks for joining me, creatives. Bye.